So, okay, so in 2009, I decided that, okay, I'm going to do something with these guys. So I started collecting them. In my studio, I have hundreds of these. I mean, like stacks and stacks. People give them to me. People say, Al, I got an envelope full of, or I collect them. They don't care, as long as the paint's dry, no one is going to tell you, hey, put that back, because they're going to end up in the garbage. So what I'm doing is I'm actually recycling. So what I do is I cut them up and I make anagrams out of them. So I just cut the letters up. And there's an in right there. So you already have one word that's already spelled right. So I've gotten pretty good at this. I do this pretty fast now. Anyway, so you have all these letters. I mean, you only, in this case, with the wet paint, all you have is what do we have? We have 7 characters, right? 1, 2, well, you got 6, but it's 7. But if you go like this, it's 7. Because the T is twice, so it only counts as 1. So what you could do is you turn that W upside down, now you have an M, right? Or you take this guy here, P, turn that upside down, it's a lowercase d. So you got 9 characters. So what I did with 9 characters is I started writing little poems and stuff like of that nature. This is a good example of what I can do with 9 characters. 9 characters. Here's my poem. I am man. I eat, I nap, I pee, I mate. I weep in pain, and in time I die. So that's my 9-character poem.
Did it take you a lot of iterations to get that?
You know, it's funny, I must have to be some savant thing or something, but it wasn't that much work to come up with it. I started thinking in this alphabet. When you start playing with something long enough, it becomes second nature. It becomes like you can exclude all the letters and start thinking in a 9-character alphabet because you're. So after a while, they became like tongue twisters because once again, it's only a few characters. Everything sounds alike. So at the same time, I met another street artist. Her name is Jilly Ballistic, or her street name is Jilly Ballistic, and she was doing images like from World War I, World War II, but really poignant. Usually everyone's wearing a gas mask, and I thought, oh, I could work with that. I could do something with it. So we did 2 installations together, and what I mean by installation is we get together, we call each other up or whatever, meet me at such and such a subway station. She brings her half of the work, I bring my half of the work. Boom, we put it there. It takes about 45 seconds. We take pictures and then we leave. She goes that way, I go that way. Done. And then it's social media is how we share it. So it's an Instagram kind of project. So after the second installation, I was like, I can't just use these guys. I need more letters because I can't really do a caption for something with just 9 letters. It's just too limited. So what I did was I started incorporating these other letters. These are the train letters. These are the names of the numbers and the names of the train, which are not a full alphabet. I have all together. And then I started using the turnaround. This U it's a symbol for turn around, go the other way. So it's not really a U. So I use that because it's Helvetica bold or whatever. It's the same family font, so and it belongs in the subway. So as far as I'm concerned, it's fair game. Because for the longest time, I make these rules in my head. Oh, I can't do that. I can't use this. I have to work within the certain parameters. So it's a one-legged race. And this is all the creative process. This is what you do as an artist. This is the craziness of it. And so what I've done, I have actual rules in my own head, of course, but it's a rule. So, but I've been able to develop, using the train letters. I can write Urban Gorilla and make T-shirts.
So where do you get the letters?
first, I had to ride each line, because usually these signs are near the line that it's on, and there's lines all over the city. So you'd have to go and go to the J line, which is all the way over there. So what I ended up doing was generating my own. I have an app that we created, and I make all the letters myself now. But the wet paint signs, because they're plentiful.
Well, I was thinking about the
get
white signs that they hang that say like the G line is down.
Yeah, that's what they are. Service alert change.
Service alert.
Yeah, that's what.
Those are pretty.
That's in the beginning. That's what I did. I gathered those around. I would have to go over here, all over the town to get the letters. So I quickly figured that one out. I was like, I'm going to have to make them myself, because it's spend all day traveling with the subway. But that's what the creative process is. You use what you can. And you go for it. You get better and better at it. You might get obsessed with it. And in this case, this is what I do for a living. Believe it or not. I fabricate stuff like this, and this is a very a tiny example of it. What I do, my art incorporates. I do mixed media art, and a lot of it incorporates these messages or just these elements. Sometimes I just do abstract stuff, like you just cut them up in different sizes and stuff like that, and they just actually. To me, and some other people, they're quite beautiful just as letters, just as elements. So
that's why you refer to yourself as text-based artist?
Yeah, I'm totally text-based, because there's generally a message involved, I mean, I'm not so much a pretty pictures person. There's plenty of people that can do pretty pictures, and some of us, we're more motivated by saying something about our society, the human condition, and that's where I fall under. I think that's really what drives me, what motivates me, and what I want to do. Ultimately, that's really what I strive to do, is to try to get something across. And which is, has been historically, even as far back as forever, the role of an artist is to reflect or comment on the age and the time that he exists within, and that's for me, it's an important thing to do, because there's a lot going on this planet, and a lot to not be all that happy about, which is a shame. But we have to, this is part of it's almost an obligation or a responsibility to report these things or to discuss these things. Once again, that's, I think, a role of a creative person, an artist, someone who wants to be involved in the world, in life, besides just work a day anywhere.
Does anybody have any questions that they were thinking about that they wanted to ask while we've got this legendary? Yeah, she
What's the most dangerous place you've ever?
Dangers? There's a videotape I did. I go I'll climb out on beams that are just structural members that are not holding. Just holding up the subway station, and there's nothing underneath. Let's say 3 tiers, so you see like people's heads underneath. If you were to drop a cigarette or something, it would go right into the subway tracks. So like 3 or 4 stories, 4 levels, not stories, because we're not talking about a building, but you're pretty high up. If you fall, you're going to be dead. So, but I kind of consider myself somewhat athletic, and I rock climbed in my 20s. So I don't have fear of heights. To me, it's a challenge. It's kind of exhilarating. So, and then you're just really there when you're very sober, when you're doing, you don't just, you're extremely aware of what you're doing, confident, and you can do it. I mean, not to say that these accidents don't happen, but that's, one has to approach that with complete, certainty. But I've done stuff like that, quite a few things, like high spots and exposed areas. And And it's bravado. It's driven by look what I can do, and that's purely. I mean, that's what I'm motivated by. It's like look what I did. Right? So.
I know a couple of people have asked me if I can find out if you've ever been arrested.
Oh sure,
Or
absolutely.
graffiti.
Yeah. It goes with the territory.
Yeah.
It's in many cases it's a risk you take, and you know, I mean, at this point, I'm a little too old for that, but it's, you know, it can happen. The last time you know what? It's in New York City. The police get like they get a promotion if they catch a graffiti artist doing his thing in action, because it's pretty difficult to do that.
Yeah.
So they usually, there's graffiti squads and stuff like that. But I don't, you know, that's for, there's young kids out there that are still like, you know, like going in the tunnels and doing all that kind of risky stuff. And that's where you get in danger of getting caught.
Do street artists, or I guess graffiti particularly, but do you develop some kind of system to warn each other, or?
Yeah, but that's usually if it's a group excursion. A lot of the street art you see is sanctioned. It's not illegal. It's and like right now, I'm on my way to do a mural in 2 spots, and it's a lot of back and forth, a lot of politics, a lot of talk to the developer, who's going to talk to the landlord, who's going to, you know, so it's politics, it's bureaucracy, and you wait. But sometimes you get lucky. I just did an installation in front of, it was the 30th anniversary of Jean-Michel Basquiat's death, and for the last 7 years I've been going to his graveside, which is not far from my house. It's like a mile from where I live. And I would do a little tribute, or some sort of tribute by his graveside. Not only did I do that this year, but I went to his building where he lived and died, 57 Great Jones, which was owned by the Warhol estate at this point. Warhol was his landlord when he lived there. So, and now there's like a Japanese steakhouse there. There's a huge organization. It's called Bohemian. They do stuff where they have, it's kind of a philanthropic organization. They do stuff all over the planet, really. And I didn't speak, but my associate spoke to the manager of the restaurant, to like a invitation-only sushi steakhouse. Yeah. And they were thrilled. They said, but we can't give you the okay because it's a landmark building. It's got that building has a lot, steep in history. One of the 5 Points gang used to run there there was a famous butcher there. There was Paul Kelly, a famous gangster who hired Al Capone was one of his young. This place was steeped in New York history, and it's that same building. So it's a landmark, and you can't alter a landmark's facade legally. It can happen illegally. So there's well, you do what you want. We can't say okay, but we're not going to call. We're not saying anything. So we went there. It was a Sunday morning. We did it freely. The thing is this: when someone says you can do something, even if it's not if the city doesn't okay it, you're fine with it. So you're not going to it's just because the vibe is this is okay. You're going to act as if it's okay. So we spent 2.5 hours there doing our thing. Nobody bothered us, and people were just taking pictures. Like, oh wow, that's wonderful. And and it was an actual. My message was in response to these big ads. They have this guy who kind of looks like Jean-Michel Basquiat, and he's selling something across these billboards. There's 2 or 3 billboards.
Okay.
So my ad was a silhouette of a dreadlock character who looked very, very much like Jean-Michel's silhouette. And in these letters, with my subway letters, I was I managed to write. I didn't sign up to be, I didn't sign up to be the face for I'm sorry, I gotta
remember seeing that because didn't people think you were Banksy?
No, that was a different
That
one.
was a different one?
Yeah, which we thought was funny because it made the 7 o'clock news. And they're like, it had to have been Banksy. And I'm watching, I'm like, no, it wasn't. It's because Adrian is English, so he's one of my associates that I do these projects with. And people just assume that's so typical. Oh, because he's English, it's got to be Banksy. So the message here is outside in front of his house. I wish I had a way of showing this to everybody here. I didn't sign up to be used as a face for selling brand name crap. Because that's really what's happened. It's like when you become famous. I mean, I just saw Stan Sachs is selling underwear with a Basquiat painting. I mean, really, Is that what you did art for, so that they could sell it as a pair of skivvies, some shorts? I don't think so. Anyway, so it got a lot of good response. Jerry Saltz reposted it, so I got a bunch of, people saw it. And which was that's the idea, is it was out there in front of his place so that people could see it, and so it would get distributed, so that you can't, so it's out there. I don't do this so that it's, so that it's not seen. That's not the idea. This is the whole idea is for people to see it. It's for the public. It's to make a statement.